Peace, everybody. Welcome to the Vital Hoops podcast. My name is Fernando Cardenas, aka International XB, and I'm your host. This is episode number 30. First of all, I want to say there's a war going on in Sudan right now. Something that, mainstream media is not necessarily covering. But unfortunately, as always, the civilians, our brothers and sisters, everyday people are going through it. You know what I'm saying? They're being held hostage. They're being killed. They're being, as always in every war, the people are suffering. So, I stand in solidarity with the people of Sudan, you know what I mean? And as a matter of fact, the Pan-African League, Umoja, which is the organization that I work with, wrote a statement, a statement of solidarity with the people of Sudan. So I'm definitely going to have the link. So definitely, check the link there. It's going to be down in the description. So please definitely check that link out. Click the link and read it. I also want to say that, the 24th edition of the Pan-African, which is the online magazine of the Pan-African League Umoja, is now available. So for those of you who read French, please definitely check that out as well. You can purchase that online. I'm going to have the link as well available down here. It only costs €4.80, and you're supporting a great cause. This edition, number 24, speaks on Nigeria and the elections. It speaks on Mali, on the celebration of Amilcar Cabral, on Rwanda, on the carnival in the Caribbean, and many other topics. So please, if you can read French, definitely check that out. Like I said, the link is available down here in the description. And also, if you have the time, make sure you check out episode number 22 of the Vital Hoops podcast, which is featuring Amzat Boukari-Yabara, who's the president of the Pan-African League Umoja. He was a guest on the Vital Hoops podcast. So check that one out. Episode number 22, Africa for Africans. Okay, before I get into basketball real quick, I hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing great, feeling good. The sun is starting to come out. It's the end of the season. We still got to get a couple W's before summertime, but I'm feeling good. Like I said, I hope everybody's doing well. And listen, I had one of my best friends come through, visit me in France, my main man, Pierre Jacobs. You know what I mean? We became friends back in the day when we played college basketball together at Concordia University. And man, this brother and I, we stayed close. We've always been, like brothers. So shout out to him. Shout out to my brother, Pierre Jacobs. He came through with his wife, and we had a good time. We had a good time in Paris. He's been doing some dope work. You know what I mean? He's a fitness trainer, a nutrition coach. And he's turning into a health guru, man. You know what I mean? So I'm proud of my brother. And so definitely check him out. Check him out. Train for Greatness is his company. Check him out on Instagram at Train for Greatness. So TRAIN, the number 4, Greatness. GREATNESS. If you're into fitness, healthy living, you know what I mean? Plant-based eating, check it out. And we got a lot coming up with him. By the way, he's gonna be on the show again soon. For those of you who haven't checked out episode number 1 of the Vital Hoops podcast, is with my brother Pierre Jacobs of Train for Greatness. It's called Health is Wealth. So definitely, check that out as well. Episode number 1 of the Vital Hoops podcast. So listen, like I said, there's a lot of basketball going on. The Basketball Africa League games are being played. I haven't had the chance to watch many of the games lately, but I did see some highlights. The Luanda team from Angola is doing really good. They're 3-0, I believe. And they're looking to take the championship home this year. They're looking good. As far as the EuroLeague, the playoffs are on. You know what I mean? I haven't been able to watch any games either, but I do know that the Monaco series is tied 1-1, and this is best of 5. These are best of 5 series in the EuroLeague right now. And the Final Four begins May 19th of the EuroLeague. So that's definitely going to be some high-level basketball. All right, let's get into the NBA playoffs. You know what I mean? First round is over. We are now into the Eastern Conference and Western Conference semifinals. So I want to go over the first round real quick. So number 1 seed, Milwaukee Bucks, lost to the Miami Heat, number 8 seed Miami Heat. First of all, no disrespect, much respect to the Miami Heat, but Giannis Antetokounmpo unfortunately was hurt. He was really hurt. He tried to fight it. He played through, but it was a lot. It was too much for him. I do believe the Bucks would have won with a healthy Giannis. As a matter of fact, I had the Bucks going all the way to the finals. So it is what it is. Miami moves on. Jimmy Butler, incredible performances. Everybody talks about playoff Jimmy Butler. It's a real thing, man. He's an amazing player. So Miami moves on. Real quick, after Giannis Antetokounmpo, after the Bucks and Giannis lost that series, the reporters were asking him if he feels like it was a failure, and he kind of got mad. He was angry. He was kind of frustrated. It's understandable. But he went into something where he started comparing Michael Jordan, losing this many seasons and only winning 6 championships out of all the years that he played. And so, he got into this thing. He was like, it's not a failure. It's not a failure. So I kind of understood where he was coming from. You know what I mean? But I do believe to a certain extent it is a failure. When you're that type of caliber of player, he's an MVP in this league. He's one of the best in the league right now. I would definitely say top 5 best players, and his team is very good. They were the number 1 seed. They lost to a number 8 seed. You know what I mean? So that is a failure. That is a failure in my eyes. That it doesn't mean that, you don't learn from it, or you don't grow from it, or you don't bounce back. It doesn't mean that it's not all about the process. But, you expect to win a championship when you're at that level every year, every season. And when you don't win the championship, it is a failure to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like I said, it doesn't mean that that it was worthless. It was a worthless season and you didn't learn anything. But, the goal was the goal, and you didn't achieve the goal. Therefore, you failed. Just wanted to leave that out there. Number 4, Cleveland Cavaliers versus number 5, New York Knicks, my squad. So this was a good series. I was looking forward to it. And, obviously Donovan Mitchell with the Cavs had a very good series. But the New York Knicks were too much for the Cavs. A lot of defense, you know what I mean? Which is what I love about this Knicks team. The identity of a good Knicks team has to start on the defensive end. And Tibbs definitely makes that known. He's a defensive coach, and, players have bought in, and the Knicks are now a good squad, good playoff squad. So, yeah, the Knicks took the series 4-1, and they're moving on to face the Miami Heat. Number 3, Philadelphia 76ers versus number 6, Brooklyn Nets. No surprise there. I did think the Brooklyn Nets were going to be able to get 1 game in, but it was a sweep. The 76ers, they're just better. They have a better team all around, and they were able to get the job done fast. So Philly moves on. And you got the number 2 seed Boston Celtics, who beat the number 7 Hawks. Trae Young had a couple good games, but there's a lot going on in Atlanta. So it is what it is. Celtics also superior team, very good team. The Boston Celtics, obviously, they are now my pick to go all the way to the finals, unless they face the Knicks and they lose. I don't think that will happen, but I hope it does happen. So yeah, that's the Eastern Conference. Now in the West, the number 1 seed Nuggets were able to beat the Timberwolves 4-1. The Denver Nuggets are extremely good. They're a great team because they're all around. They have shooters, they have size, they share the ball well, they have superstars. They're going to be very tough to beat. So yeah, the Nuggets move on. And then the number 4 Suns beat the number 5 Clippers. The Suns, obviously, they got some ball players, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, 2 great players with CP3, amazing point guard. is going to be tough to beat. But truth is, the Clippers they were down. They were missing some players. Paul George wasn't there. Kawhi Leonard was hurt. He was hurt, unfortunately, because when he did play, he was balling. You know, and I'm a fan of Kawhi Leonard. I love his game. He's a two-way player. He plays great defense. On offense, he's almost unstoppable. His game kind of looks like Michael Jordan's game. He's got a nice mid-range. He could take it to the cup. Like I said, he plays defense. So I love Kawhi's game, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to play much. For those of you who follow these mainstream media, sports media shows and things like that, there was, you know, obviously JJ Redick, you know, spoke to Stephen A. Smith and Mad Dog, you know, telling them that because they were criticizing Kawhi, saying, you know, the Clippers need to get rid of Kawhi and they should by any means necessary. And JJ Redick told them that he could tell they had never played one game of high-level basketball. And you know, JJ Redick was on point with that one. He was explaining to them that, listen, the man is hurt. These injuries are tough. These injuries are really tough. Like, obviously, of course, Kawhi Leonard wants to be out there, you know, because sometimes mainstream media makes it seem like, you know, these guys are just taking games off, you know, and I'm not saying none of them are. Some of them might be doing these things, you know, of just, you know, game management or whatever they call it. But, you know, a player like Kawhi doesn't get to that type of level with a weak mentality. You know what I'm saying? No matter how truly talented he is, he still has to have a warrior mentality to be amongst the greatest basketball players on earth in the greatest league. You know what I mean? So stop discrediting these dudes, man. Stop acting like all these dudes are soft and like they don't want to be out there on the court. That's one thing that some of these guys like to say, oh, he doesn't want to play. They do the same thing with Kyrie. Oh, he simply doesn't want to play. Stop it with all that. So, you know, respect to JJ Redick for you know, speaking up against that. And hopefully, man, Kawhi gets better and he can play for an entire season and through the playoffs, because, you know, it's a shame to see such an amazing player go down like that and not be able to play when it counts. But yeah, you know, injuries are part of it. They're part of it. And, you know, usually the team that stays the healthiest, you know, is the champion. That happens a lot, actually. Usually, because once you get to the playoffs, especially like second round, like, you know, all teams are very good. So usually, you know, the teams that manage to, you know, stick it through and stay healthy and stay focused, and those are the ones that can win. So yeah, that's part of the game as well. So yeah, hopefully Kawhi gets back up. And so number 3 seed, the Sacramento Kings, and number 6, the Golden State Warriors. Game 7. This series was amazing. Went all the way to Game 7. First of all, I want to say respect to the Sacramento Kings, a young squad that I hadn't been watching very much all year long. You know, I hadn't seen too many games, but I knew they were good. They're very well coached, you know, obviously with Coach Brown, who won the Coach of the Year. And De'Aaron Fox, amazing player, but they're all around. They got some great players. So, you know, much respect to them. And they're gonna keep on getting better. So in the near future, watch out for the Sacramento Kings for sure. They took the defending champs Warriors all the way to Game 7. Amazing series, amazing Game 7. I was able to watch the whole game. You know, Steph Curry had a GOAT performance, 50 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. 50 points in a Game 7 had never been done before. So he set a new record. I believe he broke Kevin Durant's record. Kevin Durant had maybe 48 or 49 in 2001. But anyway, yeah, amazing performance by Steph Curry. But a lot of players stepped up. You know, obviously, we talking about a team game. Basketball is a team game. Kevon Looney had 21 rebounds. You know what I mean? 21 rebounds. And he did that throughout the series. So he really, you know, controlled the whole thing. The Kings went up 2-0 at the beginning of the series. They won the first 2 games. And many people started saying, you know, the Warriors are too old. They're going to lose this one, this and that. But don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion. That's real talk right there. And the Golden State Warriors are moving on. You know, this Game 7 was a great game for the Warriors because they were able to really take care of the ball. They only had 7 turnovers as a team, and they just played with a certain confidence that you could tell that they never doubted. They never doubted. But Game 7s are tough for younger players. Game 7s are tough for younger teams. You know, the Kings they should have put him away earlier. You know, easier said than done, obviously. But in a Game 7, usually the veteran squads are able to, you know, with more poise, just make it happen and take the W. So yeah, respect to the Warriors and respect to the Kings. Great series. And finally, the number 2 seed Memphis Grizzlies versus the number 7 seed LA Lakers. Now the Grizzlies, there's been a lot going on with Ja Morant and all that. Obviously, Ja Morant, his hand at the beginning of the series, he had a serious hand injury. So that affected the Grizzlies, obviously. But I also just don't think that the Grizzlies are ready yet. Memphis Grizzlies still a young team. They do a lot of talking. They haven't proved anything. So obviously LA Lakers, LeBron James, seasoned vet, one of the greatest to do it. It was a lot for them. And, respect to the Lakers, they were able to do it because, like I said, the Grizzlies are not ready yet, but they're still a very good team. So, the Dylan Brooks situation, him calling out LeBron. What I want to say about that is that, first of all, I respect him being competitive, him being like, listen, I'm not afraid of LeBron. I'm about to go at him. I just think the way in which he did it was kind of corny. You know what I mean? Like the whole, I don't respect nobody till they give me 40. That's corny. The whole coming out all the time with a perm and white sunglasses and dancing around, all that is corny. Talk your talk and then do your thing on the court. You know what I'm saying? But it was too much show coming from him. But the part of him saying, hey, we want him. We want to play the Lakers. I'm ready to go at LeBron. All that, I respect that. I just don't like the other side of it. It was a little bit too corny, a little bit too much, around the game. And Lakers got the W and they move on. Okay, so round 2 of the NBA playoffs has started. Conference semifinals and some excited matchups. Once again, I'm not going to go too deep into them because it's only the beginning. Game 1 at the Garden was electric. New York City has been waiting for this, Eastern Conference semifinals at the Garden, all types of legends. I was happy to see Patrick Ewing, John Starks, players I used to look up to when I was a kid. Unfortunately, the Knicks picked up the L in game 1. But, missing Randall was tough for them. Jimmy Butler had an ankle injury towards the end of the game, was able to get back up as the warrior that he is and seal the deal for Miami. 76ers and Celtics, I think it's going to be a good series. Hopefully Embiid can stay healthy, but I still believe the Celtics are going to take this one. Nuggets and Suns, like I said, the Nuggets are a very complete team. They were able to take that first game somewhat easily, but the Suns will adjust overall, and I think it's going to be a very good series. I got the Suns coming out of this one. And Warriors-Lakers, that's a very interesting matchup. Why do I say this? Because Steph Curry is a GOAT, and LeBron is a GOAT as well. And there's a lot that comes into being named as one of the greatest players of all time. There's a lot that, factors in. But undeniably, championships is a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Now, Steph Curry and LeBron James are basically part of the same era of basketball. They both have 4 championship rings. You know what I mean? So let's be honest. If one of them two is able to beat the other, go all the way, and get him a 5th ring, that's going to be special. That's going to be special. And that has to count for something. We all know everybody wants to compare LeBron James to Mike. But hey, Steph Curry is there. Steph Curry has to start being part of this conversation. Understand what I'm saying? Steph Curry has changed the game of basketball, and he's a serious candidate for, one of the greatest basketball players to ever lace him up. So if he has to start being part of the conversation, they don't mention him enough when they talk about the greatest players. So I do have the Warriors beating the Lakers, and I think it's going to be a very good series because, neither team is going to give up. They're going to go down to the wire. So, but yeah, I got the Warriors coming out of this one. Okay, so that's it for the NBA playoffs. Definitely some good playoffs this year, and going to keep you updated on the playoffs throughout everything. Hopefully with my guest, in the next couple of weeks, in the next episode, we'll talk a little bit about the playoffs with my guest. I do have a great guest coming on the show. And yeah, that's that. So before I go, I want to let y'all know a little bit about, this hip hop music I'm listening to these days. I usually listen to a lot of old school, but I'm listening to some new stuff now. Not necessarily new artists, but new stuff. Right now, that new Talib Kweli, Liberation 2 with Madlib, and this is a great album. I definitely advise everybody to check it out. It's available on the podcast app. So yeah, check it out. Liberation 2, Talib Kweli, and Madlib. My favorite track on there is Nat Turner. Is with Casper Niovis and the great Seun Kuti, whose music I love. And he's a great Pan-Africanist brother, and son of the legendary Fela Kuti. So check out that track, Nat Turner. There's also After These Messages, which is a very dope track. It has a video, actually. You can check that out. It's featuring Amani, who's actually Talib Kweli's son, and he's a dope MC as well. There's One for Biz, excuse me, with Wild Child and the legendary Q-Tip. And there's other dope tracks on there, you know what I mean? The legendary Roy Ayers is on there. He got Rock Marciano, he got West Side Gun on there. It's a very good album. I enjoy listening to it. So I'm also listening to this great brother from Togo, you know what I mean? Whose name is Elom Vance. Check him out. He's a great MC. Check him out. He raps mainly in French, but he spits a couple words here and there in Swahili, I believe in Ewe, a language from his country, from Togo there in Africa. Yeah, Elom Vance, ELOM 20 CE, 2020 CE. Definitely check him out. We actually had a great conversation with him and Awadi, who is another great MC from Dakar, Senegal. We had a great conversation with them two and the Dr. Amzat Boukari-Yabara, who is the president of the Pan-African Ligue Umoja. And it was about, quote unquote, conscious artists and the Pan-Africanist revolution. So once again, if you speak French, because this one was in French, definitely check out the link. I'm going to put the link down there to this great conversation we had with Elom Vance, Awadi, and Dr. Amzat Boukari-Yabara. Check that out. So yeah, also my man Boca Floja, Afro Mexican MC. He definitely check him out. Boca Floja, BOCAFLOJA. And you can also check him out on the Vital Hoops podcast. Boca Floja was on, Maroon Talk, episode 10 of the Vital Hoops podcast. Definitely go back and check that out. So yeah, before we go, I want to remind you all to please like, share, subscribe to the Vital Hoops podcast, and leave a comment, leave a review, hit us up at vitalhoopspodcast@gmail.com, and tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what I mean? Please support this independent thing. Listen, for my book review, it's called My Song by Harry Belafonte, a memoir of art, race, and defiance. So rising power to Harry Belafonte. We lost him not too long ago. Harry Belafonte was a cultural icon. He was a singer, an actor, an activist, and unfortunately, we're losing a lot of icons. That's real. But definitely check out this book by Harry Belafonte. If you have some time, My Song. And that's it. Vital Hoops Podcast for the culture. Peace.